hit the live button now, so we're officially live right now, and I'm gonna drop on off, and then pretty much what is it? It's 2 more minutes till 8, so then I'll hit it at 8 o'clock. Cool.
All right, man.
I just sit here.
What's up?
I just sit here then.
Yeah. We already live and everything.
All right, good deal.
Carolyn, where are you located?
I'm in Decatur.
Okay.
But my kids were up in I used to be up in Swanee, so my kids were at Hall Middle School.
Okay. Yep. Well, my kids went to Hall Middle School as well.
Okay. Are your kids my kids' age? So
my kids are 29 and 27.
Okay. My kids are a little bit younger.
Yeah. And then I have a 7. So I got 3. 29, 27, and 7.
You took a little bit of a break.
I know I lost my mind. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I do know what the hell I was doing and what I was thinking.
I was about to say, shit, you know what you was doing.
How you gonna come in for 2 seconds and then
we're gonna call Jason the Peanut Gallery. We'll let you know when we need comments from the Peanut Gallery.
Here you come. 5, 4.
Play the clock. Oh, you already know what it is, man. Ooh and Jay, they coming through. Straight no chaser. Straight from the hip.
Straight from the hip, don't need no script, just need a microphone. My man Coach Boo gon' take you to the entertainment zone. They got the stats, the this and that to keep this show on point. And when we done, we have some fun and rock this funky joint. So if you will, sit back and chill, give us a chance to show ya. If one of y'all would like to call, we'll talk just like we know ya. We take control, then start the roll, and then there ain't no stopping. It's time to dip straight from the hip. Hey, y'all, let's get it poppin'.
Very well done. Welcome to Straight from the Hip. Hey, Travis made it. I'm your host, Coach Gerald Boo Mitchell, coming to you live from the Imperial Palace on Black Mania. Carrie, you don't know about Black Mania yet, but we'll have to hip you to it. It's the planet that I go to do the broadcast from every week. So me and Black Man, we have to tell you about Black Man too. But Black Man flies me up here so we can do the show every week. Hey, Miss Ham, how you doing? Here with my co-host. First of all, Big Irv from the Chocolate City of DC. What's going on, Irv? Talk to me.
Not much, man. Doing all right. Enjoyed the last week.
Did the whatever they call them, Washington football team, did they get their man?
They didn't get the first choice, but they got a good choice.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute.
All right.
Travis, what's up, Travis? What's going on?
No, not much. Just snuck in here at the last minute. Had some to stay after for work for a meeting, so I'm running around trying to get everything done.
I'm so glad you shaved and cleaned yourself up a little bit. Don't you look good, Irv?
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Oh my God, that is awful.
Come on.
And today we have with us Miss Carrie Lynn, all the way from Decatur, where it's greater. Miss Carrie Lynn, how you doing?
Absolutely, doing well. Glad to be here.
Very good. Miss Carrie Lynn, we're going to find out about you a little bit here in a minute because we about to get this thing rocking. And when we do, it's going to be deep because we about to talk about the NFL draft. We need to know who your favorite team is. We need to know if your favorite team got who they wanted, things of that nature. So let's go ahead and get started with the NFL draft. Now, I made a declaration on this show. I said if the 49ers draft Mac Jones, I'm out. I am no longer a 49er fan. Yep. The 49ers did not draft Mac Jones. They drafted Trey Young. And is it Trey Young? Is that his name?
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance. I'm sorry, Trey Lance.
Well, somebody
Trey Lance.
somebody
And
like
this is my whole thing. I really wish they had drafted Mac Jones. Because I really wanted to not be a 49er fan anymore. So I was a little bit disappointed when they didn't draft him. But in any event, they drafted Trey Lance, so I'm still in there. I'm still with the Niners now. Do I like the pick? I still really don't like the pick. I mean, I don't think that's what we need, a quarterback. I'm not sure this kid is the quarterback that we need. So it's going to be tough to see him and Gigolo Jimmy fighting it out to see who's going to be our starting quarterback. So I'm leaving it at that. Now let's go to favorite picks. Starting with Big Herb. Big Herb, what was your favorite pick of the first round?
My favorite pick actually is two.
Come on.
The 8th and the 9th pick, when Carolina picked up J.C. Horn and Denver picked up Patrick Surtain II, mainly because the 2 picks after that was going to go to the NFC East, and I'm glad I ain't got to deal with none of them good corners in the NFC East.
Okay. I'm not sold that both of them are going to be big corners. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Miss Carolyn, first of all, who is your favorite football team? You better not say the Falcons.
I'm a Falcons fan, sir.
A Falcon fan?
All day.
Did Jason not tell you about this show?
Yeah.
I can't believe you are a fan. Why? Why would you be a Falcon fan?
I try to assimilate whatever city I'm in. So I was in DC for a while. I rocked with the Redskins for a while within the Heath Schuler days and all that. But then I came to Atlanta and I bounced with Atlanta.
Thank you for your honesty, because that's the normal reason why somebody's a Falcon fan. You just a default Falcon fan. I mean, just because you live here and you want to support the local team and you want to, I'm sure you're a very charitable woman. You probably have season tickets, because ain't nothing but charity if you're a Falcon fan. Because that's all you doing, just give your money to charity. That's all it is. Who was your favorite pick of the first round?
Of course, it was Kyle Pitts.
Oh my God!
We were going to stay with Matt Ryan, so I mean, we might as well take the best player at that point, and it was Kyle Pitts.
Okay, let me ask you this: why are you going to stay with Matt Ryan? You said we're going to stay with Matt Ryan. Hell, didn't nobody else know you was going to stay with Matt Ryan? Even the Falcon fans were like, "Get rid of his ass, get somebody else." Why did you know they were going to stay with Matt Ryan?
As soon as they started talking about trading Julio, you knew they were going to get rid of Matt. You knew they were going to keep Matt Ryan, and they needed somebody else to pick up what Julio, because they're going to trade Julio. So we needed to pick somebody else who could get that slack.
Hold that thought. We're going to get back to Julio. Travis, talk to me. What was your favorite pick in the first round?
So I'll give you, like Irv, I'll give you 2 picks. I really like the Detroit Lions pick. I like Sewell. I've been on this show. I kind of wanted the Bengals to take him. I don't hate the Chase pick. I'll say that flat out, but I like Sewell at 7. The fact that he fell all the way to 7, best offensive lineman in the league in the draft is pretty crazy. And then I know we hate on Dallas, but they might have got the best defensive player in the draft in Micah Parsons, and traded back and got more picks and still got Micah Parsons at, I think, 12. So a linebacker is something they needed. So I like Dallas and Detroit. I like both their picks.
Okay. Well, Travis, what about your Bengals? How they do? What do you feel about their pick?
I didn't hate it. As I said on this show last week, we went Jamar Chase. So LSU wide receiver. I think I would have rather have had Sewell just because we need offensive line. But as I've said, and for anyone that knows the Bengals and follows them, they did pay money in this free agency period to the offensive linemen, and they did draft a tackle 2 years ago. So it'd be tough to draft another tackle, because then you basically give up on Jonah Williams, who you had 2 years ago. But I do like Jamar Chase. I think he was the best wide receiver, maybe the best playmaker in the NFL draft. Kyle Pitts had already been taken, so I really do like the connection that Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow have. So I'm excited for that.
I don't know if you realized it immediately when it happened, but isn't it interesting how all of the college quarterbacks got one of their homies back with them? Like of course, Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow's got Jamar Chase, and then the two Alabama guys, Tua and Hurts, got their receivers back, Waddle and Devontae. Wasn't that kind of cute how that happened? I'm gonna be interested in seeing if that really pans out and that works out the way that I think that they think it's gonna work out. I think that's gonna be interesting to see. General observation, that was one of mine. Another general observation for me was, how come the Atlanta Falcons didn't move Julio? I mean, wasn't that the best time to try to move Julio? Why do you think that didn't happen? And I'm going to start with Miss Carrie Lynn. Why didn't they get your boy and go on ahead and make a deal with somebody then on panic day? Oh, we got to get a need. We got to address a need. Why didn't they address that need to get rid of Julio then?
Well, I thought the same thing, but I did a little bit of research, and I think that a lot had to do with the money, right? So releasing him or trading him after this June date, I think it's June 1st, relieves us of the most cap space if we can wait till after then. I think that's what I read. I mean, it makes sense. I wish we could have, but to deal most intelligently with the money, we have to wait until that June date.
Okay, Travis, what do you think? Why is Julio still a Falcon?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of the cap and the money situation. I also think it's a scenario where you have NFL teams that, this is, last week is kind of when a lot of the stuff had come out in terms of the Falcons want to get rid of Julio, right? Well, teams are looking at it and go, yeah, Julio may be a good player, but the draft is this week. I could get a younger, cheaper wide receiver in this draft. Why wait and why trade for him now when I can wait if I don't get the wide receiver that I want during the draft, if I don't get, the position of wide receiver that I'm really hoping for because the guys that I wanted, were taken. Now you trade for him. And you don't have to probably give up as much in terms of draft capital because, of course, the Falcons are probably wanting to get a first or second round pick, so that they can draft someone for this upcoming draft.
All right, hold on. Let me read some of these comments. Miss Hood said he's staying for her because, she loves her some Julio. She was around here last week talking about his ass and everything on a family show. And she talking about how good his booty looks in them pants and all that other stuff. Ms. Peavy said that Trevor got a 10, which he did. So, and we know that goes along with that thing we were just talking about. And my favorite quote is from one of my favorite ladies, Miss Jessica Wolf Allen said, because no one wants Julio. And I'm with Jessica. I think that they probably went out there and tested the waters, and everybody was like, yeah, man, I give you a 7th round pick in the 2030 season.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a haul for him. That's for sure.
I don't think you're gonna get anything really. I mean, I think Julio is really past his days. I mean, I think he's hanging around. But hey, Mr. Butler, how you doing? But anyway, I do think that they will try to deal Julio. I really honestly believe if he has 2 more seasons, I'd be surprised. If he makes it all the way through this season, I will be surprised. Julio beat up pretty bad. And he's ready to go. Go ahead.
When you said you'll be surprised he'll be 2 seasons, are you saying with Atlanta or just 2 seasons in general?
Period.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm saying he only have 2 more seasons in him.
No, I think he'll play a few more seasons. I just don't know if it's Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, if he's smart, he won't play 2 more seasons because he's going to be beat up so bad. I mean, you see just the way he gets right, even on his good days. Even when he has good days, you can tell he's tired. I mean, it reminds you of the days you know, when Jerry Rice, and you like, oh my God, please, Jerry, just retire. Just please don't keep doing this to yourself. When you know you got rookies out there that run 4.8 and just locking him down.
Hey, look here, man. Jerry can still play in the
like
league
we
right now,
wasted his
man.
career
Him
here.
in that chicken helmet, they can play in the league right now. Stop it, coach.
Jason, stop
Didn't
watching
Jerry
them.
get cut
Stop
by
watching those commercials with him and Brett Favre, and they bathing themselves in all the uniforms. They put them on both arms, put them on both legs. They got the corset
with the
made
back
with that
strap.
stuff.
Yeah.
The back strap talking about my back has never felt better.
Yeah, they got draws made with that stuff that they put on. I mean, they bathe themselves in that stuff. No, man, that man can't play no ball anymore. So let's not go there. Guys, here's my thing, and I got very frustrated watching the draft the other day. It's just too long. It's too long, and it's just got too much stuff instead of just showing what the picks are. I mean, my whole thing is like, I was watching, I actually went to that party that Joe Madden had, that virtual party. So I was sitting here right behind the same computer in the same spot up here in the Imperial Palace on Black Mania. And it's too long. I stayed up and I had to be at work the next day. I stayed up watching the draft till 11:15. And when I went to bed, they still had like 10 or 11 picks left in the first round. I mean, to me, that's crazy. There you go. That's him. Yeah. That's the Jerry Rice of today. That's what he looked like out there playing football, too. But in any event, first of all, I don't want to call the first round of the draft the NFL draft anymore. Let's call it what it is. Instead of who wants to be or who wants to be a millionaire, who's going to be a millionaire? That's what I think we should call it. Who's going to be a millionaire? That's what the first round should be called. Because it don't matter if you're good or not, you're going to be a millionaire if you get drafted in the first round. We know that. So let's just go ahead and name it that. Secondly, why do you give them 8 minutes? Man, cut it down to at least 5. I mean,
the first round like 12 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, when I was watching the clock, I thought it was just going 8 minutes. No. And I'm telling you this, it don't need to be any more than 5.
They was running their mouth.
Right.
Here's the bottom line. All of those teams have been studying this draft. I mean, like I said, I joked about it on the show. I'm like, we're going to do mock draft number 912. I mean, they have so many mock drafts, it's ridiculous. So everybody already knows who's in the draft, and everybody's already set up all these scenarios. What happens if they take Mac Jones at 3? What happens if they take whoever else at 3? I mean, they've already set all that stuff up. So they got a big old computer program that they run. Everybody uses the same software, and they already know who they're going to take based upon who they've ranked in every position. Why do you need all that time? Carrie, what do you say?
It's money. Commercials, money.
Yeah, and we know the NFL needs more money.
Well, yeah. I just think it's the intrigue that they try to build. It's the talk time that they try to give all those analysts that are on screen. Todd McShay, and I can't think of the dude who looks like the Joker. But it's giving them what they live for. I mean, all year long. I mean, I get tired of the time just before the draft, like you said, going through every scenario and every possibility just to get to this point. I just think it's about time for those analysts and commercial money.
Yeah, Ms. Peter said it's way too long. They know who they're drafting. So I agree with you, Ms. Peter. What do you say, Herb?
Yeah, she basically called it. It's all about advertisement. You know, I think especially now, since they lost money without the people in the stands last year, they're going to get as much money as they can get from every single thing that they're going to promote in this offseason.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you're right. I agree, Travis. What do you think?
No, I agree. And one thing I texted in our group text on Thursday. It was 8:25 before the Jacksonville Jaguars came out and drafted Trevor Lawrence.
Which is dumb.
8:25. So, like, we all know he's going to be the first guy taken. Why is the pick not in by 8:05? Like, seriously, like they didn't even have the commissioner come out there until 8:15 to say the draft is open and let the Jaguars on the clock. Like, all that stuff should have been done before 8:00. 8:00 needs to hit. You need to okay, welcome to the draft. We're excited. We're here in XYZ city. And bingo, we're starting at 8:05. Like, it takes way too long. I stayed up and watched the entire first round because that's what I do. And it was past midnight before it stopped. It was past midnight before the first round was over. Ridiculous.
Look, I was on that party with Joe Madden and her crew. I said, listen, I see where this is going. I'm telling y'all right now. 11 o'clock, I'm taking my ass to bed. Because I got to work in the morning. I don't know what y'all got to do. I got to be to work at 4:45 is when I start training kids. And I got to have every ounce of energy I can have to pour into them because they ain't happy about being up at that time anyway. So the bottom line is I got to be on my game, and I'm leaving at 11 o'clock. Now, I lied because I left at 11:15, but I still got out there because I saw there was going to be I thought it was going to be up till 1 o'clock. I'm not going to lie to you. And I can't take that. I mean, not me. Yep. So anyway, all right, that's enough talking about the draft. Well, we're going to talk about the draft, but not talk about the draft. So we're going to talk about quarterbacks right now. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers to start with. I thought the timing was very peculiar for Aaron Rodgers to come out and say, I'm done with the Packers. I mean, I just thought, why make that declaration now? Why not have made it right after you won the MVP, maybe? Maybe that's a good time to say it so that everybody wants you now. You're the MVP. Why not say it then? Why not say it after the draft? I'm done with the Packers. Now they're really screwed because if you say I'm done with the Packers, I'm not playing anymore. And now they don't even have a chance to draft anybody in your place or whatever case may be. I know they already got somebody last year. But that might have something to do with their intentions of the draft for the rest of the draft if they know Rodgers is going to be gone. And now they got a quarterback they hope is their future quarterback. But what about a supporting cast? What about drafting some wide receivers or something to help out that new quarterback? So I just thought it was very suspicious that he did it when he did it. What do you guys think? Starting with Irv.
Now, Coach, you said something very, very funny, and the one thing that he was upset about. When is the last time they drafted a wide receiver in the first round?
Yep.
Now,
I don't know that they ever have, to be honest with you.
Since he's been there, they never have. And that was one of his frustrations. And then it just so happened that another report came out recently that they cut one of his favorite receiving targets that that he was really upset about. And then that was around the draft process. So that's when his real frustrations really kicked in, even though last year, he was kind of, taken back from the Jordan Love draft pick. But like this thing has been brewing, man. And it's like, I understand, in my opinion, I kind of understand how he feels.
I hear you. I agree. What do you think, Travis?
No, I agree. I think, to answer your question, I think he came out with this information right before the draft because he knew it was going to get talked about. If he would have waited till after, there was a chance that this, not to say would have been brushed under the rug because he's still Aaron Rodgers, but this got maximum TV exposure. This got maximum networks talking about it, and people are talking about it now. So people in Green Bay are talking about, what are they going to have to do to keep Aaron Rodgers or to figure out a way to, get all they can for him. So I actually think it was a brilliant idea between him and his agent to have it be the week of the draft, because if there's any week in the offseason that the entire world is caring about what's going on in the NFL, it's the week of the draft.
All right, Karen Lynn, what do you think?
I think the Green Bay Packers have been telling Aaron Rodgers for a number of years at this point that he's not the priority. So that he came with it at this point was, I think, to steal the show, in my opinion. And I think that, I don't know what the rules are on this program, but I think he's a little bit of a bitch. If he If he ends up putting that Green Bay uniform back on, he's gonna look real stupid. I mean, if I am a year or two from retiring and my company brings on somebody that I might help transition my position to, I mean, that's the nature of the beast. Get over it, dude. Like I'm tired of hearing about Aaron Rodgers. Now, if he comes to the Falcons, I'll take him. But but at this point, I kind of look at him like, I mean, stop crying. He's always crying.
First of all, spoken like a true Falcon fan, Carrie Ann. True Falcon fan right there.
So
yeah, I know you'll take him if you can get him. Because you don't really like Matt Ryan. Nobody really likes Matt Ryan. Yeah, this is where I am with it. I honestly felt like he came out with it when he did because he wanted to go to San Francisco.
Oh, here we go.
I honestly think he wanted to go to San Francisco. He's a Cali guy. That's where he's from. He's a California guy. And he was hoping, and they tried to broker a deal, but they wanted too much for him. The Packers wanted too much, and San Francisco was like, no, we're not doing that. You forget that. So the deal fell apart. I think that's honestly and truly what happened. Now, Carrie Lynn, I'm with you now. I don't think that you know Aaron Rodgers is. I mean, he needs to get a little thicker skin. When you draft Jordan Love like you did, or whatever his name is, I think it's Jordan Love, like you did, that's planning for the future. I mean, everybody has to do that. I mean, for you to get all upset about that, I mean, even if they did move up in the draft or whatever, if that's the guy they think is going to be their future quarterback and they need to move up to get him, I mean, best case scenario, how many years does Aaron Rodgers have left? 6, 5, something like that? I mean, that's best case scenario. I mean, bottom line is just like a lot of guys, Alex Smith and all, Joe Theismann, a lot of quarterbacks, they get hurt. Dak Prescott last year. I mean, he could go through a catastrophic injury at any time. Guess what? I need that guy right now. Exactly. So the bottom line is you can't be mad about that. Him being mad about that, I didn't want to hear that. But now, the other things like Irv just talked about, never drafting me a big-time receiver, you know, not getting me the help that I need, I'm with you on that. And I think that that's a rightful complaint. All that other stuff is a bunch of hugabaloo. I don't care anything about all the rest of that crap.
And then the crazy thing is when you think about it, the first pick they had this year was a corner.
Right.
They didn't pick another target for him to the 3rd round.
Right.
And then also Jordan Love wasn't the first one, if you remember. Brent Huntley was the first one.
Yeah. Right.
So I understand you look for the future, but I mean, come on now.
But real quick,
didn't they draft him when Brett Favre was playing? So
yes,
I mean, at some point we got to plan for it.
Karma, baby.
Brett Favre did it. He was going to retire like 8 times.
If you're the quarterback, so if you're Aaron Rodgers, you got to still be like, look, I can still play. So why are you drafting a quarterback to bring a backup in? Just like you said, Coach, let's just say he's got 5 more years. Why are you drafting a quarterback then?
Travis, why are you, if you're the best there is, if you're the league MVP, what the hell are you worried about a second-string quarterback for? I mean, you're the damn league MVP. What the hell are you worried about who they draft to be your successor? I don't give a damn. Go get damn Michael Vick. I don't give a shit. Get whoever you want to get.
I agree, but if your entire goal as an NFL team is to win the Super Bowl that specific year, which should be every team's goal is to win the Super Bowl. So every team's goal right now should be win the Super Bowl for 2022, right?
Right.
For 2021, 2022 season.
Right.
Getting a backup quarterback doesn't help you.
Okay,
especially in the first round.
Wait a minute. Can I tell you this? Guess what every player's job is to do in the NFL? Everybody who's working in the NFL. Do your damn job. Is it his job to draft players? Shut the hell up and do your job and let those people in that front office do their job. How about you do your damn job and let me worry about, I'm the damn GM. Let me worry about doing my job. That's what you do. I'm not looking at just 2022. Because if a GM that's just looking at next year is going to be a fired-ass GM, I guarantee you, real soon. he got to look on down the road and say, I got to at least look out about 3 years and make sure we aren't around here going from first to worst. Because that's what's going to get his ass fired. So the bottom line is you can't do that. You got to start planning for somewhere down the road. And if in his GM-ness, he decided that Jordan Love was the guy that he wanted to get, then go get him. Because that, like I said, that one pick right there might make you or break you. Because if Jordan Love comes out and he's a duck and he's terrible, then everybody's going to put it on that GM.
Right. But again, if I'm the player, I want the player that's going to get, you know, the best player that's going to help me right now. Because it's a player.
If you're the player, if it's the player, you should be wanting to go out there to play the best that you can play, and you should be trying to get whoever they got out there with you to play the best that they can play. That's the bottom. That's all you can do. I mean, for you sitting up here walking around with your mouth sideways and walk around with a stink face and all that because of who they drafted or whatever the case may be. And let me ask you something. What is that going to help? What is that going to help? Because you got a stank-ass attitude because they drafted your successor, and now you walk around there mad. Tell me what that's going to help. That going to help anything?
No, absolutely not. And I'm not saying to have a stink-ass attitude. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is you should want the best player to help your team win. And a backup quarterback.
Hold on, Travis. It's stank-ass attitude. Sorry, my bad. I just had to say stink.
Come on.
Here's my thing. I wish I was the GM for the Packers. If I was the GM for the Packers, I'd get him right on up out of there. I'd do one or two things. I'd either get him on out of there, number one, or I'd keep his ass there forever. I would try. I'd lock his ass down. I'd do everything in my power to keep him there as long as I could.
That's a big captain for a backup quarterback.
What do you say, Sherry Lynn?
Who are we talking about?
Aaron Rodgers.
Who are we talking about?
Exactly.
Okay. But look,
exactly.
Josh Allen. You think he's threatened by Mitch Trubisky? He don't care because Mitch Trubisky ain't coming for his job. And that's the way I felt like Aaron Rodgers should have managed it. He should have been like, okay, yeah, draft for the future. I hear you telling me I'm your man. That's good. And I'm going to play like I'm your man. If for any reason I falter and it looks like this Jordan Love should take my position, then let it happen. But it's not going to happen because I'm going to play MVP.
Thank you.
But I could also make the argument that at least Buffalo went out and signed Stephon Diggs and gave Josh Allen a legitimate wide receiver, and then went out and got a backup quarterback. So at least they spent the money to give him weapons, and then they did the quarterback scenario.
I hear what you're saying, but Travis, that's different for every team. Exactly. What is the real need?
Then don't compare Josh Allen to Aaron Rodgers. Then
what is the real need? Is what it is. I mean, what if Aaron Rodgers is being sacked or he's running around for his life like he is a lot of times or whatever, and so you say, you know what, we need a damn offensive lineman. That's what we need.
Okay.
He's not, though. He's complaining for a wide receiver because he, at least in his mind, he doesn't have one. And I think we would probably see he really doesn't have it other than Devontae Adams, who's a star. Who else does he have?
Travis, in his mind, he probably needs. Go ahead, Carolyn.
Has he ever said that? Has he ever vocalized, I'm upset and I want to leave because you haven't provided me a wide receiver? They haven't had like a horrible offense. Okay,
that's because of him.
Good job.
You can argue that's because of him. Like,
and the number one quarterback and a league MVP isn't going to come out and say, you need to get me a wide receiver, because that's just not what quarterbacks do. Like, then it completely makes him look like a bad guy.
Right. They should keep it split just like this. Because the people on the right side of my screen, me and Carrie Lynn, we're the ones who are right. The people on the left side of the
absolutely not. No.
Nope. Come tell you right now.
Listen, the good person is usually on the left shoulder.
Exactly.
If I had been Aaron Rodgers, I would have taken Jordan Love. As soon as he got there, I said, come out here, let me show you something. Just me and him. Just the two of us. Come out here, let me show you something.
We gonna take him up and time up.
See this spot right here in front of the stadium? This is where they're gonna put a statue of me. right here when I leave. That's why I'm going to teach you everything I can teach you, because you ain't never going to be me, but I'm going to teach you as much as I can so that you can try to be me, because they ain't never going to forget me around here. No, I promise you that. That other dude that used to be here, they don't even talk about him anymore. They talk about me now. They put my name in there with the GOAT. Only reason they talk about him is when he out there making stupid ass racist comments. That's the only time they talk about him.
You know,
I can tell you right now.
You know how many times Tom Brady pulled Jimmy G aside and said, "Let me go help you"? Never.
Look, hey Jimmy, I see your comment. He got a top 5 receiver, but when was he drafted?
So I don't care about what Brady did. What I'm trying to tell you is that Aaron Rodgers had been a bad man for a long time. And with that being said, I wouldn't be worried about nobody. No, I mean, he needs to get him some damn self-confidence of what he needs to do. Because I wouldn't be worried about anybody. Be like, man, draft 3 more quarterbacks. I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. Because like he said, at the end of the day, he don't have about 5-6 more years anyway, if that. So whatever.
He's trying to win right now. So what are we talking about?
In his eyes, that's 2 more contracts.
You know how you win right now? You know how you win right now? Shut the hell up and go out there and play. That's how you win right now.
Win by getting
how about that? How about take your ass out there and play? He must have done pretty damn good this year. Y'all acting like he didn't have anybody. He's he needs this and this and this. How was his ass the MVP this year? Because he had Devontae Freeman out there and all them other guys. Got Devontae Adams out there throwing the ball to him and everything else.
Now imagine if he had some better talent.
If. Hey, we gonna talk about if? Are we gonna talk about if? I already told you about if, then Herb.
Yeah, you did.
I told you what Kendra Perkins said. If was a fifth, we'll all be drunk.
I think we're gonna go ahead and move on. I only got one comment on it, just the Aaron Rodgers thing. You know, I really don't rock with Aaron Rodgers anyway. They went to 2 NFC championships. You can't be that bad of a team to be in back-to-back NFC championships. Yeah, they get blown out, but they made it there 2 years in a row. So,
but that literally means that 1 piece away. So get him that 1 piece.
And he's in discussion for the MVP every year.
If Aaron Rodgers ran it on 3rd down, he would have scored. He'd be in the Super Bowl last year. He the one that decided to throw that bullshit pass.
If was a fifth.
Listen, Jason just mad because he won the number 1 pick back in the day. But all right, next topic.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Moving right along.
Facts. You're right.
Very quickly. What happened to the talk about Deshaun Watson? I mean, at one time, Deshaun Watson was all we were talking about. I mean, news was coming out left and right, this and that. I didn't even hear them hardly even mention it the other night. Did anybody hear them mention that on the draft on day 1?
No.
Nobody even mentioned what was going on with Deshaun Watson. I would have thought somebody would at least said, hey, maybe Houston's going to try to trade up and get a 1st-round pick because they need to address Deshaun Watson because they about to put him under the jail if another lady comes up talking about he did something to her. What happened to that? Irv.
Yeah, I think they mentioned it like real quick because I think they drafted a quarterback out of Stanford. And that was the only time they mentioned it, and it was like that. But you're right. I didn't hear not one word. I heard a couple people come out before the draft say something about how good he was, but nothing.
I just found it interesting. I didn't hear anything. Travis.
What really helped Deshaun Watson to where they weren't like, besmirching his name and everything was the fact that the Texans didn't have a 1st or a 2nd round pick. So why are they going to go ahead and talk about a team that's not on the clock? They're not going to do that. It's the whole Aaron Rodgers situation. The Packers were drafting that night.
Hold on, Travis.
Talking about that, but Houston didn't have
Travis,
a draft.
hold on.
Why would they talk about it?
Hold on, Travis. Just let me ask you a question.
Yep.
You said, why talk about him in the 1st round when you don't have a 1st-round pick? That's exactly why you talk about him. My talk would have been Houston might want to try to get a 1st-round draft pick since their quarterback about to go to jail for the rest of his life. Is that not a good topic to talk about? I mean, they don't have a damn quarterback. Supposedly, if the quarterback about to go to jail, don't you think you might need to trade up when you got these 4 or 5 quarterbacks that everybody thinks is the best thing since sliced bread? Maybe Houston will want to get one of those and put their name in the hat to get one of those and trade up to have that happen. I think that's why you talk about it in the first round. I don't get what you're saying.
My point is that with them not having a pick, yeah, okay, you can bring that up for a 3-minute conversation, and that's it. What else are you going to go from there? Like, you can't. There's not much to go at on draft day when all these other picks are going on. You can't just go ahead and speculate when you have. There's nothing that is hearsay in terms of that something that's maybe happening. There's no information about that. There wasn't any information. So why talk about that? Why not talk about, and again, the draft is for the players that are being drafted. It's not about Deshaun Watson. It's not about Aaron Rodgers. They shouldn't even brought up Aaron Rodgers on the draft because that wasn't about Thursday night wasn't about him. It was about the people that got drafted.
Now, Travis, you making my point for me. Just like they brought it up about Aaron Rodgers and talked about it at damn length, I would have thought that they would have said something about Deshaun Watson because it was damn sure important 2 weeks in a row. I mean, they've been talking about it for a damn month. And then all of a sudden on draft day, let's not talk about Deshaun Watson. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers.
That's the difference. The difference is the Deshaun Watson information and what's going on with him has been out for multiple weeks, and they've already talked about it. The Aaron Rodgers news was less than 24 hours old, and it had just broken. That's the difference.
But there's a bigger difference. There is no in jeopardy about Aaron Rodgers playing this year. We don't know if Deshaun Watson's going to play or not. We have no idea what's going to happen when you have 23 women come out. I mean, come on, dog. I mean, you think that the next day or tomorrow they're going to say, hey, all 23 of them women said they lied. So just scratch all that. Deshaun Watson's okay. He's going to play this year. I mean, come on. I mean, that is a huge thing to get over. So they might not have him. That's why they drafted Davis Mills with their first pick. The first opportunity they had to pick,
and I bet
they picked the quarterback.
I bet if we go back and we watch whatever round they picked Davis Mills at, they probably then talked about the Deshaun Watson conversation and what was going on. But my point is that because the Houston Texans didn't have a first-round pick, there really wasn't the opportunity and or the reason to bring it up. If the Houston Texans had a first-round pick and they would have drafted someone, I guarantee it would have gotten mentioned. But because Houston wasn't on the marquee that night, there wasn't a reason because they had plenty of other things to talk about.
I don't even think Houston was in the facility.
Probably not.
May not have been. But like I said, I find that very suspicious. Watson not playing this year. We picked number 3 quarterbacks this season. I hear you, Ray. Miller. All right, one more quarterback we're going to talk about real quick. And the last thing I heard about him the other night was they're saying he's doing very well is Dak Prescott. What do you think about Dak Prescott? Irv.
He's a Cowboy. I don't care.
Cherry Leah, what do you think about Dak Prescott?
Man, I wish him all the best. I hate the Cowboys too, and I was hoping at some point, like all Falcons fans, we'll take any quarterback other than Matt Ryan. So at some point, I was like, maybe when I put my GM hat on, maybe we can finagle a trade. But anyways, I wish him well. I'm glad he's doing well.
What do you think, Travis? Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I hope he's doing well. I hope he gets back to his caliber of playing what he was. He before he got injured, he was really playing well. I know it was early in the season, so come on, Jimmy. But I think I would take Matt Ryan over Dak Prescott. But I hope he's doing well. I haven't heard much of an update, so let's just hope he gets back to being healthy and ready for the season.
Well, I would hope that Jerry Jones got a very good report on Dak Prescott since they drafted all defensive players
Well, they needed
in
it.
this draft. And so I guess that means Dak is okay. And, they got Ezekiel Elliott making pledges that this is going to be a banner year for him and all things of that nature. So all is well in Big D, at least they think. And we're going to see how that turns out. I do believe, like somebody said, one of the best drafts. I thought Dallas did at least get the best defensive player.
Yep.
Dude, when you're that big and as strong, that guy is a weapon. I mean, when you're running a 4.3 something 40 at his size, whatever he hits, he's going to hurt it. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Okay.
So that's a big pickup for them. I also think, and there hadn't been much talk about it, guys, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers had a very good pick at number 1 with Najee Harris. Now, I hate Big Ben. Y'all know I can't stand Roethlisberger. But I think that Najee Harris is going to be a big thing for them because they really needed a good running back. And I like that kid. I'm going to tell you right now, that kid is a winner. The next day after the draft, they say he went back to the homeless shelter that he had to spend some time in for a while. And, went back to see his friends in that homeless shelter and things like that. So I think that's pretty good. So in any event, moving right along, changing gears a little bit. Let's talk about the fact that there were no HBCU players drafted in this year's draft. I don't know that that's ever happened before. I know that our man primetime Deion Sanders was not happy about it at all. If you didn't know, this is what Deion Sanders' comment is here. And we have the audacity, back it up just there we go, Jay. And we have the audacity to hate on one another while our kids are being neglected and rejected. I witnessed a multitude of kids that we played against that were more than qualified to be drafted. My prayers are that this won't ever happen again. Get your knife out my back and fight with me, not against me. That's what Deion Sanders had to say to, I think, the African-American men out there who are involved in the draft process. What say you, Irv?
Now, this is a little close to my area because I did graduate from the HBCU as well, St. Augustine University. Thank you, Raleigh, North Carolina. And I remember on our football team as well, we had 2 guys that were pretty much really, really talented enough to get drafted. One guy ended up playing like 5 or 6 years in the league. But with these comments that Prime is saying is it helps, but it hurts because now it's going to be a lot of guys who are still stabbing him in the back are just going to try to stick it a little bit further in his back. There's certain ways that you have to take care of it, and I think he's using his stature as one reason to get this voice out on why people need to keep their eyes more onto the HBCUs as far as talent-wise for the league.
Right. Well, Ms. Peavy's already sticking a knife in his back. Ms. Peavy said, why are there a bunch of Jackson State players entering the transfer portal? Ms. Peavy already sticking that thing in there and twisting it.
Yeah.
Here's my thing, and I agree with you, but guys, let's understand this in case some of you don't know. Some of the greatest football players of all time has come from HBCUs. I mean, we got Hall of Famers like Doug Williams, Jerry Rice. I mean, Mel Blount. We could go on and on and on about some of the greatest players ever that have come from HBCUs. Carolyn, what do you feel about it?
I have a couple of thoughts, but primarily I wonder if the question is also if we don't trust the players, and I mean trust the talent of the players from the HBCUs, or we don't trust HBCUs in general. Like, why aren't we going after the parents who take their best players into these Alabamas and Ohio States? Like, why aren't we charging them for not going to an HBCU first?
Very good question. I'm gonna answer that in a second. Let me get to Travis first. Go ahead, Travis.
Yeah, so my thoughts. I actually just kind of have more of an overall question because I'm not really sure, and it may just in terms of maybe an answer to Dion's question in terms of why there were no HBCU players drafted. HBCU, the schools, a lot of them were they playing in the spring this year?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's probably why a lot of them didn't get drafted. To be honest with you, playing in the spring and not playing in the fall probably had a big deal because when regular college football was being played in the fall. Once that is over, January 1st or after the bowl season, all these scouts and all these teams are looking at players and film. They're mainly focusing on Division I players anyway, and the fact that all that information was already out there, then the HBCU schools are playing now. That's probably harder for them to get with these players to train them, get with these players to talk to them, get with these players to do physicals, things like that. I think that was probably the biggest, reason for that this year and why there weren't any HBCU players, drafted this year, which is what Dion specifically talked about this year.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to Carrie Lynn's question of why aren't we sending kids to HBCUs? A lot of times kids don't go to HBCUs for a number of things. HBCUs, number one, are underfunded. A lot of times they're underfunded. So you don't have the facilities and things like that. Irv knows, he's been the one. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. Terrible. If you go to Clemson and Dabo Swinney has one of his sorority girls walk you around the campus and they show you all of the mopeds you're going to be able to drive back and forth to class. They show you the dining hall where they've got a 5-star chef that's going to be preparing your meals for you. Then they take you over to the therapy rooms where they have all kind of jacuzzis and hot tubs, and they got a cold tub. Then they got somebody that'll massage you after you get done with all that, rub your feet. I mean, they got everything at these universities. They got bowling alleys, movie theaters. They got the creme de la creme for these kids. You go to HBCU, that's the field house over there, just like you have in high school. And I mean, ain't none of that stuff in that field house. None of it.
Was worse.
I mean, and Irv can tell you. So when kids look at that and they have coaches, high school coaches saying, listen, you deserve the best. You want to go somewhere that's going to give you the best coaching, give you the best doctors, give you the best education, give you the best of everything. And those kids are like, I only got one shot at this. I want to go get the best of everything. And I mean, it's an easy sell, especially to a high school kid. To a high school kid, he wants to get the best opportunity that he can get. Now, I feel like the other end of this, as far as the draft is concerned, they keep a lot of data. All of these sports teams, they call it Moneyball, whatever you want to call it. They keep all kind of data. How many left-handed quarterbacks have won the Super Bowl versus right-handed quarterback? Well, don't get no left-handed quarterback because left-handed quarterbacks don't win Super Bowl. So, I mean, they keep a lot of data. Well, they keep data, too, about where kids come from. And I guarantee most of that data says the Power 5 schools have the better players, and that's where the majority of the players in the NFL come from and do well. And so when you're looking at HBCUs and you look at their record, especially in the more current days, I don't think we have a very good record of people coming from HBCUs and having a very good career in the NFL. That's just my opinion. I don't have the data to support that, but I'm looking at who I'm seeing drafted, and most of the people being drafted are coming from the Power 5 conferences. And that's why I say, especially first round, good God almighty. I mean, it was easy to see that it's pretty much Power 5 exclusive where guys are coming from. When you see that Clemson had 10 or Alabama, I think had 10 and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's easy to see that those big universities are the ones that are putting most guys into the pros. And so whether that's the GMs and the owners saying they're well coached, they're ready to play, all of these things when they get there, blah, 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 blah. Moving right along, folks, because we got 7 minutes. And I do want to bring up Jason's favorite person, his idol, his guy, LeBron James, was upset. The NBA ruffled LeBron's feathers a little bit because they decided to put in the playoff system, and Bron does not like it.
I mean, just look at his face.
Oh, he mad. You don't even want to talk. Say it, Bron. Let it come out.
Yeah, no sound, Jason.
Okay, and apparently it's not working. I'll just tell y'all what he said. Basically, when Jason can get it teed up there, they asked him about the playoff system and this and another. And to paraphrase what he said that whoever came up with that BS needs to be fired. I think it's stupid, it's terrible, and whoever came up with it needs to be fired. Now, I think you can remember a time when LeBron kind of seemed to like that playoff system.
Yes, I do. This evening.
Whatever that need to be fired. But whatever.
Funny how times change. Now,
talk to me, Irv. Tell them what happened last year.
Let's go back 7 months when they had that play-in tournament that was going to include Portland, the Grizzlies, New Orleans, and I forgot the other team. And he was all for it. The Kings. And he was all for these bottom 4 teams fighting out for that last spot and how exciting it would be for the league. Now let's go 7 months back to the present day. When his team is on the border of being in that play-in, now all of a sudden,
yep.
Whoever came up with this, I mean, come on, man, you can't have it both ways. Like, come on, for us, this is exciting.
Here's the thing. I think he thinks he can have it both ways because he's the king. Carrie Lynn, what do you think about it?
I mean, it is what it is. He doesn't like it because it's his team, but I'm all for it. I love it.
Travis.
Agreed with what everyone said. I think if his team was where the Denver Nuggets and the Utah Jazz were at right now and a top 2 or 3 seed, he'd be like, yeah, I don't care. Good for them. But because it's his team and they may have to play more games now, he doesn't like it. So be it. You know, you shouldn't have sat out so many games when you were, doing your not during the high ankle sprain because that was a legitimate injury, but all your little rest days or what do they call it? I can't play a back-to-back because of whatever. I need my second day of rest game. So maybe you should have played a little bit more.
Load management.
Load management. Thank you, yes.
Well, Keisha says she's still gonna watch Space Jam just because LeBron.
I am too.
She's still gonna watch Space Jam.
Oh, absolutely.
I barely watched the first Space Jam when Jordan was on there. I know good and damn well I ain't gonna watch it with LeBron's ass on there. Guys, this for me is in my wheelhouse for why I don't like LeBron. this just falls right in my wheelhouse because I think that more times than not, in my opinion, he makes comments like this that it just send chills up my spine. I'm like, dude, just play basketball. I'm not the shut up and dribble guy. I like when you come out and say stuff about social problems and what needs to be done. I love that about you. But about this right here, I mean, and it's right on the heels of you just taking an ass whipping 10 minutes ago. Now they got you in the post-game press conference and you just out there pouting and just it's just awful to me. I mean, grow up. I mean, how you supposed to be the GOAT and be the doggone poster boy for the league, and you go out here and act like this? I mean, that's terrible. I mean, I don't like that at all. And I know Jason about to bring his ass out here in a few minutes and defend his boy. And with me, here it comes. Come on out here. 5, 4.
Hey, look at tread light. How y'all talk about LeBron, bro? Tread lightly. I'm letting y'all have it today. The tread lightly.
Hey, Coach, you gonna do us like Travis last a couple weeks when you mentioned Cincinnati?
Hey, I do control the mute buttons. I can't take your ass off in here. Take it easy.
We gotta relax.
I hear you. But anyway, like I said, it's just it's just that kind of thing. I mean, I don't, and I probably like LeBron more than y'all think. I mean, I do respect him. He's a good basketball player and all that. I just hate when he does this kind of stuff because it's like I said, when you're that guy, don't be that guy. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, folks, it is 8:59. We got 1 minute. I'm going to give everybody real quick, everybody the last take. Whatever we talked about today, y'all better get it ready. Carolyn, since you're new at this, I'm gonna let you be last. I'm gonna give you a little bit more time. I'm gonna let even Jason go get in on this thing. But we're gonna start with the person who talks the longest first. Travis, go ahead.
What am I talking about?
Whatever.
Oh, Lord.
Whatever you want to talk about.
Oh, whatever I want to talk about? Oh.
Your last take. Last take.
Well, UEFA Champions League is going on semifinals.
Oh, my God.
And you said everything. My team, Chelsea.
Hey, no, we're not listening to that, man.
Oh.
We're not doing that. No, go ahead, Travis. I'm joking. Go ahead.
My team,
That's what I'm
Chelsea,
talking about,
is playing
Jason.
tomorrow. And if they win tomorrow, they're in the Champions League final. So I'll let everyone know next week.
We're going to hold our breath. Jason.
My take for it is already said, man. Aaron Rodgers, I don't rock with him anyway, and he's a crybaby. He been in 2 NFC Championships games. The last one that you could have really made the impact by making your own moves, so that's on you. And look here, man. Y'all gonna have to take it easy on LeBron, man. He emotional right now, man. He going through some things, man. When your hair bald and your ankle hurt, that's a bad combination. So y'all gotta leave my boy alone, man.
Jason, Troy the barber called him LeBron.
Yeah, I know. That's my barber too. Slow down, Troy. Slow down, man.
All right, Irv.
Yeah, when it comes to the NFL draft, it's all talk to the season start, all hype to the season start. I'm not worried about what anybody chose. I just want to see what goes down on the field. So I'm satisfied with our picks in Washington, and we're just going to work on that.
Okay. Carolyn.
I'm most excited about my Falcons.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I know. Listen, the quarterback that went undrafted that we picked up, Philippe Franks from Arkansas. Watch and see. Hold on to his name. He's coming for you. Watch.
Okay, first of all, Philippe Franks.
I know a lot about that guy.
Philippe Franks, he didn't start off at Arkansas.
No,
I think he started off at Florida or Miami or somewhere.
Yeah.
Florida, and it's Felipe Franks.
Yeah, so he well traveled. So we'll see about that. Folks, this is going to be my last pick.
Isn't he?
And let me say this. My favorite part of the NFL draft is seeing those young men become millionaires. Because at the end of the day, and I train a lot of young men, I've been very fortunate to be able to go to the draft with Bradley Roby, who got drafted in the first round, and to sit there and experience it. Guys, when you see the passion and when you understand that this kid has been doing this since he was 9 years old, single mother, they struggled, and you think about all of the sacrifices that mom made to, pay for him to play football, to get trained, all of that stuff, to go watch him play at Ohio State University, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then all of that is realized on that day. So my favorite draft pick this year was J.C. Horn, because I know Joe Horn, and I used to train and be around both both JC and Joe Jr. And Joe Jr. actually played for me when I was at Peachtree Ridge High School. And to know everything that family has gone through, and now to see that all manifested the way it was, dude, I can't imagine. I'm glad I wasn't at it. They actually did a thing over at Charlotte Hayward's house, who lives right down about 3 doors down from where my ex-wife lives. And I didn't even realize that was Charlotte's house till she told me the next day. But the bottom line is she said there was supposed to be 35 people there. They had 80 people in her house for that draft the other night. So just to even kind of think about what that energy was like in that house when he was picked 8th overall, because guys, we're talking about a guy that's probably gonna at least at minimum make $10 million in the next year. So when you think about lives being impacted that way, I mean, it's phenomenal. I'm very happy for all of those young men. Now, the flip side of that is most of those young men are probably going to be out of the league in 2 years. And that's just a fact. I mean, a lot of those guys are going to be cut and gone, and they're not going to pan out for one reason or another. But hopefully they'll be smart with their money. They'll do the right thing, and they'll be able to at least retain some money for a good part of their lives. So I'm happy to see that. Folks, it is 9:04. We got to get out of here. I want to thank, first of all, the panel for being here. Ms. Carrie Lynn, great job out, rookie. You did very well. Big Irv, thank you. Jason, as always. And Travis is always Travis. And I want to thank everybody for being here. Troy the Barber, Keisha Gonzalez, Reese Porcari, Miss Peavy, Miss Ham, Jessica Wolf Allen, thank you for being here. Guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. Love all you guys. Good night, Miss Francis.
Straight from the head.
See you guys next week. Thank you for watching.